and I think one more time. Okay, so now what we need to do is handle in case there is no person inside of the list people. So we'll go ahead and type an else statement right here. So if there isn't anything selected, then we'll just go ahead and type messagebox.show please select a person, and then we'll set the title to warning. We'll set the message box buttons dot to OK, and we will set the icon to warning. So message box icon dot, let's just do exclamation. Okay, so if we go ahead and run this, we'll go ahead and click the play. You can see we have our form one right here. We click new person. I'll just add Sam. Click OK, and you can see we get the current weight, the current money, and the current income. And now we can have Sam eat, work, and exercise. And you can see that it's going to update. And I can increase the income, can exercise even more, can work even more, and I can also eat and get fatter. Now, before we finish the program, there's a couple things we need to do to make it work better and to prevent errors. So on the Form 1 load, we're gonna have to disable these buttons right here, because if they click them, it's just going to crash the program because there's no selected person. So come back to form1.vb, and we will add a sub that will disable all of those. So we'll just call it private sub disable buttons, and we will type button eat dot enabled equals false, button exercise dot enabled equals false, and I'm going to go ahead and type all this in and then come back when it's finished. Okay, so you can see that I created the sub disabled buttons, and I just set each one of the buttons enabled to equal false. So button exercise dot enabled equals false, and I made a reverse sub of this called enable buttons, which will just set each one of those equal to true. So now what we need to do is come up here to form 1 load, and when the form 1 loads, since by default the selected index is going to be -1 for our list box, we're just going to type disable buttons. And now we'll come down here and let's see, list people, selected index change. So if the selected index is not equal to -1, then go ahead and enable the buttons, and else we'll just disable buttons. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run this, and you can see that we have our program right here. We got the current weight, which is nothing, current money, which is nothing, current income, which is nothing. And you can see that these buttons right here are disabled because there's no person. So let's just create a new person. We'll call him Sam. And when we select that person, you can see that it updates right here. We can have him eat, we can have him work, we can increase the income, and we'll do whatever we want to him. Now we can create another new person. Let's just create John Doe, and you can see that when we click on John Doe, it gets the current weight and the current money and the current income, which is default. Now we can add as many of these as we want, and we can keep accessing different people. So we'll just have him exercise, we'll have him eat some more, we'll have him work to make a lot of money. And you can see that when we select these, we get the values that are attached to each one of these people. So this is the end of working on our person program. What I want you guys to do is create input boxes that will get the pounds to eat, how many hours to work, how many hours to exercise, and how much to increase the income, so that your program is a little bit more functional, and it just looks a little bit nicer and it works better. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the next tutorial.